Hey, welcome back to the channel. So today what we're going to do is we're going to make a PDF of the EPUB version of the book that we made for Google Play, and we want to do that because Google Play recommends that you have not just an EPUB but a PDF also. Again, it depends on readers and reader styles. They don't require it, but they do recommend it for redundancy and for customer service and all of that. So we are going to do an EPUB version. Now you'll see that I've already got one that I made. The problem is, this is based on a faulty file because if you watch my video on the EPUB conversion from Calibri, you notice that when I went from doc to docx, it messed up all my bookmarks. And let me show you exactly what it did. So I'm going to click on my old PDF version just to show you my point that I'm making. If I go to my bookmark here is fine. If I just go to insert bookmark, my main title is there. But when I go down to this, well, there's something wrong here because I'm not supposed to have one paragraph return. I should have two. And you'll see that I'm on contact. And if I go to contact, like contact's way down here, that makes no sense. So clearly, my links were working just fine until I converted to docx. So again, I want to reiterate, if you're converting from a doc format into a docx, what you need to do if you're going to use any of these systems, you definitely want to make sure you go through and fix everything. So what you're going to see is if I click here and I go to bookmark, you're going to see that it's actually got the right bookmark. So the problem in this particular draft is all of my top lines got pushed up. So if I just click on this for every section, it'll be fine. But I'm not going to do that because I've already done that in my other documents. So rather than do this all over again, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to start a brand new file. And so I'll go to my EPUB conversion 3 that I had before, and what we're going to do now is we're going to save as PDF version 2. Okay. We'll save. Now that's going to retain all the formatting that I've already got from the EPUB version that we made in the last video. So just verify that nothing's broken. We'll just go into bookmark, make sure everything's good. All right. Now, the thing to also remember too is we are doing a PDF. So a PDF means we're probably going to want to add the cover page. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to hit one line and then I'm going to hold Control and Enter to give myself a page break. And then, I did that line just to check redundancy. So we're going to go back to the bookmark, make sure that nothing's broken. So we got a little bit of a breakage there. Let's make sure we fix that. So what happened is we actually we need to just reset that. So we'll add our main title back, make sure these all register. Okay, the rest should be fine. So if I go to Edition Notes, I'm going to the right place. Okay, so everything should be working, and we'll just make sure that this is all good. Now, one thing to keep in mind here is that it's looking for the file. We probably want to actually make sure that it goes to actual bookmarks. So if we go to hyperlink, title OK, we just want to make sure it goes to the right bookmark. So that's something we're going to want to fix before we finalize this, because again, you don't want somebody to click on your hyperlink and it tries to take them to a page that doesn't work, because that's ridiculous. And if you made an ebook or an EPUB, you may want to just, if you haven't checked already, just make sure your links in that regard also work. So keep all those things in mind. All right, so I'll fix the bookmarks on the after the video is done. So what we want to do now is we want to just make sure that we have our image. So if we go into our pictures and go to our book file, we want just add the cover just so we have something. It's good practice. That way your reader's got something to work with. And we'll keep the page break in there. We may want to resize this just a tad. We'll resize it just a little bit to get to the page break on the same page. And then we'll just make sure that it's centered so it doesn't look stupid. Okay. And that way, we're not wrecking anything. And then we may also want to add in a bookmark, again, just to make sure that we go to where we intend to go. So for this case, we'll put cover image, add. Main title, go to other books, go to cover image, go to, there we go, everything looks good. So after we fix all of our bookmarks to make sure that they're working and that they're going to convert well, then we're going to go ahead and we want to resize the PDF. You don't have to do this. If you want to do a full 8 by 11 or 8.5 by 11 worksheet, that's fine. That's up to you. You can do what you want. If that's all you want to do, you can literally take the file you had from your EPUB and just go right to convert, export, and create XPF. I don't want to do that yet because I want to make sure that the reader actually has kind of that book experience. You may want the larger version for printable elements, but if you want them to have like just a nice pleasant experience, then you're probably not going to want to inundate them with walls of text. So the best way to do that is convert that into a book shape format. So paperback size, and so your standards are 5 by 8, 5.5 by 8.5, and then 6 by 9. And or you can do like the mass market size, which is like 4.5 by 7, I think. I like 5.5 by 8.5. That's most of my print books come out to that size. I think it's a good size. So we're going to set this PDF to that size. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go into the page layout, and then we're going to go into size, and then we don't have the size that we want on here, or at least I don't see it. So I'll go to paper or more paper sizes. And I'm actually going to set my margin to 5.5 and then 8.5. Okay, and then we'll just, we don't want 1-inch margins on a book that small. So we're going to do 0.5. And there's a faster way to do this in another program I'm going to show you in the next video. Not in this one, but the next one. So make sure you come back because the next one's going to be really cool if all goes well. I'm not going to worry about gutter because we're not making an actual paperback. We're just making something that's easy to read on your screen. So right now your gutter, all that stuff doesn't matter. If you want layout, again, that all doesn't matter. But what I would do is set your header and footer to just 1/4 of an inch. Just so, again, it's not insane. You don't need any of this because, we're not, if you want to have something printable and pleasant, then go ahead and add different odds and evens. Go ahead and add all the fancy stuff. But Word is not really the best program to do that in. I've done it, and it's a pain because if you change anything, it messes the entire document up, and it's not worth it. And what we're going to do is really rudimentary. This is if you're just in a hurry, if you have like a short book, or if you care about your book but you don't have the time to really go crazy on it, then this is just a kind of quick and dirty method of making it look nice without killing yourself over it. In the next video, I'm going to go through one more program that is a little more fine-tuned, but so much better, and I'll just show you what that looks like. And then the video after that will be when we actually go to Google. But just want to keep that in mind. Anyway, so hit OK, because once we have everything we want, then we're going to check the pages, make sure it all converts well. Now you're going to see that once again our image is too large, so we'll go over on this side for now. So now it fits, so everything should work out fine. Now one thing we are going to do differently, now if you recall from my last video, I took all my drop caps out because it wasn't converting well in EPUB. Well, now that we're doing PDF, we can put those drop caps back in. So that's what we're going to do here to make everything look nice, is we're going to do that. So do that for all your chapters. You don't need to do that for any of your back matter, because no one cares enough about back matter to want to see the drop caps. But if you want to make it look nice, just go through the drop cap system. So once you have all your drop caps in, then your next job is going to be to justify. Now anything that's supposed to be in the center, you don't need to worry about that. But once you get down into your actual text, you're going to want to go through every section in here and go into justification, and then check the length of your justification. You'll see these little dots. If you have your Pilcrow highlighted, all these little dots will show you where all your extra spaces are. The wider the space, the worse it's going to look. So anything that's crazy, you will want to put in a hyphen or a split. Hopefully you won't need too many of those, but keep an eye on that. And again, just every section should have it. If you want to do the whole thing and then recenter, you can. I like to just be in a bit more control with what I'm doing, and just check as I go, make sure nothing looks insane. And I'm going to show you one example of insanity, because on my last version of this edit, I had a few areas where it looked stupid. So so right here is where I'm talking about. See this line right here? You see how ridiculous that looks? If I take my Pilcrow off and you see, like, do you really want, when you're reading a book, to have all these gigantic spaces between your lines? I don't know about you, but I don't. So this is a good place to find a place to break. So you'll see that what's dragging it down is this my email here. The trying to do away with the symbols really messed up the line spacing. So you will want to break it wherever you can in order to certainly make things shorter. This is where hyphens come in play. If you are familiar with hyphens, go ahead and use them. I don't like Word's auto hyphen format because it throws in hyphens everywhere and it looks bad. There's another program that does hyphens a little better. So if you do like hyphens, I'm going to show you that program in the next video. But there is a way to do hyphens, and I have a blog article on how to do that well. So if you're interested in doing hyphens, check on the link. I'm going to put it in the description below and give it a try. But there is a way you can do hyphens in Word that looks good. And so, consult the article, help me out a little bit. So. Okay, so we're at the end of the file, and what we did is we justified the text. We added the breaks where we needed to. We've fixed our drop caps, put them back in. And remember too, if you have any small caps, those can be preserved in the PDF, so you don't need to worry about any problems with that. We added the cover image at the top, and we added a bookmark just to make sure that it reads. So we should have everything we need. If there's anything else that you want to do special to your PDF, go ahead and do that. But you don't really need to do a lot here. Again, this is the quick and dirty method. Tomorrow I'm going to go through a more nuanced version of PDF conversion. So if you want something a little fancier, you can make that work. And the other thing you can consider too, if you really want to go the extra mile, is just add a page number. I don't typically worry about that because, again, kind of a rudimentary book. But if you really want to give your readers something a little extra in case they decide to print, go ahead and add it in. It doesn't hurt to have it. And that way, it's a little bit of quality control. So just keep that in mind. Anyway, all right, so we're going to save it because I think we're pretty satisfied with the version. And then what we want to do is we want to make sure that we actually have the PDF. So we're going to go into File, going to go into Export and Create. And we're going to keep the same name, just for consistency. You'll see that it's retaining my file name from the docx. And clearly I have a different version from what I've done before. You can see where I messed up my previous versions, and then this of course is the outdated one that I'm going to want to replace on Google. And by the way, this is already on Google, and so is my EPUB that I had, the messed up version. So fortunately I'm still going through the verification process, so hopefully no one will see it. Hopefully these will be live before those come on. I'm not actually sure if this version is going to be on Google or if I'm going to have the fancy version. Depends on how it goes, but again, this is just for for now, so keep that in mind. But anyway, we'll go ahead and publish, and I changed my mind. I'm going to actually do the fancy PDF 2 videos from now because I think I want to go ahead and go to the Google video because I want to make sure I get these online because really I don't want my validation to come through and have it look terrible. Oh, you know what? You probably want to take the page number off. We probably, hold on. Let's not quite finish this. Let's actually do one more step. So we don't actually want page 1 to show up on our cover page because that looks also ridiculous. So the one more thing we can do to make sure everything looks fine is we'll go back into insert, and we're actually going to go back to page number, and we're going to format, and we're going to start at 0 rather than 1. Okay, and you'll see that our renumbering, now our cover page is 1. We probably don't want to start there either, actually. This is one of the reasons why using Word to edit your text kind of sucks, because you're very limited in what you can do with page numbers. More devoted formats can help give you a lot more control. So we're going to just leave it for now because, honestly, in order for this to really work out, then you need to break your sections. Hey, just a quick interruption. I actually went back and looked at Word, and I did find the section break. So when you are formatting, you don't have to have your page number here on the cover page. you can actually go into page layout and then go into the break section, and then all your section breaks are down here. So the whole reason why you want to do section breaks is so that each section has its own set of rules, so you can determine whether or not you start a new section on the next page, or you do a continuous section here, which is essentially your new section begins on the same page, like it might be the bottom half, as you can see in the draw. And then of course even, it means that even pages might consist of recto and verso pages if you're doing paperback. And if you don't know what that means, that's jargon for left and right pages. So in this case, even would be verso and odd would be recto. And so you can imagine what a book layout would look like. We're not doing paperback on this video. We're doing the PDF for Google eBooks. So if you do want to do paperback, I could do another video on that in the future. But that's something you want to keep in mind, is you want your section breaks to actually be different. You want your sections for your front matter and your back matter to be separate from your main body. So in this particular case, we would break the section probably at addition notes. So rather than, we'll put the Pilcrow back up so you can see what we're doing. So rather than having a page break here, we'll actually delete that. We'll instead put in a section break, and we'll do a next page section. And so now, which you'll see that we have a different designation. And then we want to look for our bookmark. So let's go ahead and we're going to delete this top Pilcrow and just check make sure our addition notes are where they belong. And now what we have is we have a brand new section here. And all of our page numbers, you'll notice my page numbers reset. So, all right, so what does that mean? It means that in our front matter section, we actually want to get rid of our numbers now and officially start our book at page 1 under addition notes. So that's going to be our goal, is to use our section breaks in order to reformat the page numbers. Now I'm probably going to leave the back matter alone, because back matter and page counts are usually fine. But if you want to get rid of your back matter pages, you would do the same steps that we're going to do with the front matter. So what we're going to first do is we need to go into our insert page, and then we need to go into our footer, and we need to edit the footer. Okay. Now, before we do anything down here, we have to actually look at the panel up here, because this is where we're going to do most of the rule setting for our book, is up here. And remember, every section's got its own rules. So the first thing you need to do is you need to look for this little tab here, linked to previous. Now you're going to notice that it's already highlighted in blue. What that means is if I make any changes to this section here, and everything in my whole section is now showing up as 9 because of the footer rules. If we go up to section 1, well, 9 is also there too. Well, the whole reason why we did this section break is to avoid this from happening. So what we instead want to do, instead of doing what we just did, when we're inside of our footer edit there, inside the footer rules, we're going to uncheck link to previous, so that if I now change page numbers to 9 or 91, 92, if this is where we start, you'll find that it didn't affect the top section at all. So this is going to be where things happen. So we'll go ahead and we'll fix everything we just did one more time. We'll go back to our footer, edit our footer. And this time we're going to uncheck link to previous. And we're also going to have, for this section, and we've got to make sure we're in this section here, we're going to have a different first page, so it's good. So then what we can do is we can now insert our page number and go to our bottom page. Actually, we don't want to do that. The whole point of doing this is so we don't do it on this section. We actually want to delete the footer on this page, and then we want to change the page number. We'll actually format the page number here because we've already got it set. So instead of starting at 0, we'll now start at 1. And if you go back to the front matter, it's still empty, but as soon as you go into the edition notes, we now have page 1, 2, 3. So we can close the header, and there you go. And everything looks the way it's supposed to. Pretty cool, right? All right, so anyway, we're going to reconvert or back to our PDF now that we have an update to our thing. So we're just going to keep the same PDF, so we're going to publish over it. Yep. And that way, at least we're not publishing page 1 on the cover, because that really is kind of dumb looking. Okay, so there you go. Looks nice. Now we'll zoom out because that's way too large. We'll just give it a nice 150. And you'll see that on the page number or the page layout, it's easy to read. It's not too complicated and it's pleasant. And as far as we know, it's not giving us any random blank pages. I don't know if that's going to be for sure, but we'll check for it. I'm not going to do it here because that's going to be boring. So just check to make sure that you don't have any weird empty pages. And just if you can go through a quick skim, if you see anything that's got a lot of time in the white space, then you may want to go back and review. But it looks to me like this is pretty good. So I'm going to say that this PDF looks pretty good. So I know I've been kind of hyping the next video being the more advanced PDF construction. I'm actually going to save that for the 4th video because I think we want to get right to Google Play because, again, I have, as I explained earlier, I'm not actually vetted yet. They're still validating my account. So I don't want them to suddenly validate and I have all these crappy versions of my book online. So I want to go ahead and at least have the passable versions online now, and then what will probably end up happening is sometime after I do the 4th video, I'm going to put the nicer PDF in its place. So come back tomorrow. We're going to actually do the Google Play video and see how that looks, and then we'll go from there. And then I'll probably do an addendum to that just to show the final product. Because again, I'm probably, by the time this goes live, I'm probably going to be verified. So I don't see a reason not to have that in here. So anyway, thanks for watching and come back for the next part.